Ladies and guitarists, so today we have a Vox Starstream, which is the synthy, poppy, modular modelling guitar from Vox, and yes, well, almost the usual kind of thing, just slightly different today. The first thing that I want to mention before we actually get cracking is that, let me give you a little run through of the strings on the acoustic 2 setting. Lovely, very nice, excellent, like I expect. Hello, what's going on there? Why is that? Pull it as hard as I can, I'm still not really getting very much from it, and there may be a very good reason for that. So I'm just going to nip out into the workshop and I'm going to change the string. I'm actually going to lower the action as well because the action's silly. So I'll see you in a second. Hang on. Don't know. And strangely, it's not all of the different settings, which you can see here, that it does that on. So that's fine. So whether it's something to do with either the sampling or the setting inside this particular module, I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's have a listen to it, and then we'll have a look round, tell you what I think, yes, let's do that. Okay, so before we go on to the whistles and bells and all the odd stuff that this thing will do, I'm just going to play a little tune as a mark of respect, to be honest, on this sad day, April the 17th, Saturday, 2021. I've just got it set in the regular guitar humbucker mode, and I'm using it exactly as I would use any other guitar for a little tune. Alright. Okay, so respects and what have you, I shall say no more. Now, so let's get the gripes over and done with. So, gripes initially are certainly that high E string on the acoustic settings is rather weak, and I rather suspect that that's more to do with the way that it was sampled rather than a fault with the guitar, because we've got a brand new Ernie Ballsack E string on it now. We've cleaned up the saddle so that there's no interference, and the saddle and the socket that the string fits into at the ball end. So there's no interference, there's nothing clogging it up, if you like. So maybe it was just the way that it was sampled, and if so, that's a situation that Vox need to have a look at. The other gripe that I've got about it, and for me to only have 2 gripes about guitar is probably pretty good, is that the tremolo, or vibrato arm I should say, was rather slack and sloppy. But you know, half an inch of insulating tape around the thread, it now will stay wherever you want it. Also, it's as hard as blinking iron. So what you probably want to do, if you actually want to use the tremor, is you probably want to take one of the strings off, and then you've got more, because this, although it does move, but that is so picky, because all you need to do, like I say, is just take one of the springs off and it'll be fine. Which I haven't done because it's not my guitar. It belongs to the good Reverend Ben and his amazing collection of exotic and weird guitars. So what does it do? Oh yes, the other thing is, of course, the string action was a little bit high, but the neck relief is perfect, the neck straightness is bang on, and so all I had to do was drop the saddles a little bit. It took literally 2 minutes. So, there we go. Let's get on to what this thing does. So, first of all, clearly, for my money, this thing is a bit of a blend of 2 guitars. Certainly the Line 6 Variax, because it copies other guitar sounds. That's it. Well, guitar, sitar, banjo, dobro, but this one has some other very, very cool and weird sounds with it, which we'll have a listen to in a second. So basically what you've got is, of course, you've got 6 individual piezoed saddles here, which talk to the little brain in here. And, oh yes, I did say a combination of 2 guitars, didn't I? Well, guitar number 1, of course, is the Line 6 Variax. Guitar number 2, that it puts me particularly in mind of, because of these bolt-on shoulders here. Well, it's a bit like a Yamaha silent guitar, isn't it? You know, with that's basically just a stick. It's basically just an amplified canoe pedal. So, of course, these bolt on the edges to make it feel like a full-size guitar. And I think it does that job extraordinarily well. So all of the brain of the guitar is in here, and you've got an on-off button here. You have to depress this for a minimum of 4 seconds before it will turn off, which I'm not going to do, just trust me on that. And you have got a control here that takes you through all the different sound varieties, and a control here that will add in either gain or reverb or the depth of sound. Now also the toggle switch, which when we're on humbucking mode or just ordinary electric guitar mode, like I was just then, the toggle switch just switches you between these 2 pickups, which are very, very nice, I have to say. However, when you're in the other alternative sound modes, like the 12-string or the acoustic or the sitar or the banjo or the dobro, blah blah blah, the toggle switch takes you not between the pickups, but it takes you from sound to sound. So you can have regular sitar or extra sitar or bonkers banjo or that kind of thing, if you see what I mean. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll have a listen to a couple of the cool sounds on this that I really, really like, and we'll finish with my favourite one, and then we'll wrap it all up and just have a look at its little specs and so on and so forth. Let's go. Okay, so number 1, we're going on to the sound that says unique. And what this does is that with the toggle switch, you can have different types of banjos. Yeah, let's be down there and you have a look. Or we can go on to the lighter banjo. Or it might even be a dobro, I don't know. yet in the centre, and of course you can adjust, you can increase or decrease the intensity of that with this depth knob here. Alright, let's have a look at another one. Hello. So we've got two acoustic settings here, and we'll have a very, very, very quick run through these. So again, using the toggle switch, it takes you to, well, they sound the same. Very acousticy. Next acoustic. That annoys me, that. Another one. Okay. Okay, so there's your two acoustic ones. Moving on. Well, you got to have a 12 string, haven't you? And strangely, weirdly, on the 12 string, the top E's absolutely fine. Oh well. Okay, so after those, then you have got a modern sound, and then you've got regular guitar, basically a Les Paul and a Strat on the next four positions, and then you've got two user settings that you can muck about with yourself, and there is one more. Oh, my favourite. This, I've got to tell you, is one of the best bass sounds I've ever heard, and it kind of puts me in mind of I can muck about with that all day, and probably will. Alright, so onto the guitar itself. So as we know, it actually, strangely, if you look just at the neck and the body actually looks like one of those little Hofner shorties, doesn't it? And yet, with the outer frame that's made of the finest, there'll be a fancy word for it, but I'm just going to go for plastic, that bolts on. It reminds me of the Yamaha Silent, which is cool because they are fabulous, fabulous guitars. I want to get my hands on one of those at some point. And we have got obviously your computer module here. You've got an on-off button here. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to do the batteries in. Is that gone? Yeah, that's gone. You've also got on the little control panel here, you've got a headphone socket, which is very, very cool. And there's some other buttons and stuff there. So, what are you going to use this for in the real world? Well, in the real world, I guess that, a bit like the Line 6, that if you're going to gig, then at least you do have an acoustic, and I would have to say a very decent Les Paul and Strat. The Humbucker and Single Sounds, they really are very, very good. You've got I assume that's a maple neck. I don't know. What do you think? You've got Scoto styles on there. Are they branded? Don't know. But it's nice, it's sharp, doesn't weigh much. 2.8 maybe at a push kilograms, but it's nice and easy to get on with. I do like the exhaust pipes. So you've got two strap buttons here so that you can accommodate your shape, I suppose. Also, very, very useful for standing on the floor. See, you can stand it on a flat surface and it'll just lean against the wall without any, danger of it going skyward or base over apex. And we've got 22 frets. I'm guessing rosewood. Looks like it. And you got some, acrylic inlays there to tell you where you are. And all in all, and a little butterfly string tree there. But all in all, I think that it's a very, very groovy guitar. And if you do want one thing that will suit all purposes, again, like I say, in the real world, if you want an electric guitar that will sound like an acoustic or a 12-string, then it's on the money. It really, really is on the money, if that's what you want to do. So I think that for that reason, it does actually fulfill a practical purpose. And it's not, and this isn't going to break your back. And I don't think they'll break the bank either. I don't think they're massive money at all. And the most important thing is that once you've messed about with the action and got it set right, they play really, really nicely. And the vibrato system works absolutely perfectly. I will drop a string out of it. You'll almost certainly want to set it up to your own preferences. Actually, the action was so high, it looked like it was set for slide. So, there you go. So that's it from me and the Vox Starstream. Have a lovely day, folks. Thank you all ever so much for watching. It's Adios from Roxy, and I'll see you soon. Ta-ra. And so what I'd completely forgotten to do, which fortunately a contributor wrote in and mentioned this, I forgot to demonstrate actually the humbucker and the single coil aspects of this lovely Vox, easy for me to say, Starstream. So let's listen to those. So we're first of all on the position that's called bucket, which I assume is meant to emulate, your Les Paul type of instruments. So I'll start with the bridge pickup, and nice and sharp, into the centre. Onto the neck. That's nice. And that is in fact the setting that I use to do that little tune. The next position is called in between. So somewhere between, I guess, a humbucker and a single coil. Oh, I say, that's quite slinky. And you can use this effects thing to add distortion. That's pretty good, I like it. Let's turn it off. And then we'll go into the single setting. I'd have to say that is pretty strutty. In fact, it's very strutty. So middle position on the toggle switch. And finally the neck. So there you go. Hopefully I'll be able to tag that onto the end and slightly re-upload it. And I think that's it. There's one more little thing it does. That on that nice weird bass sound, There's also, using the toggle switch, you can get this. Look, no hands. And it will just do that forever and a day. So it's really adios now. All right, ta-ra.